Pause for a moment. Take a slow breath. Now let me ask you something honestly. Why is it so hard to stop scrolling on your phone? Even when your eyes are tired, your mind is exhausted, and you know you should stop. Why does one more episode on Netflix always turn into 5? Why does one bite of junk food turn into an entire packet? Why does one notification feel so exciting and yet so empty just seconds later? What if I told you your brain is not broken? You are not weak. You are not lazy. You are not addicted because you lack discipline. You are addicted because of dopamine, a tiny chemical in your brain that is quietly controlling your thoughts, your emotions, your motivation, your focus, your habits, and even your happiness. Dopamine is the reason you feel pleasure, but dopamine is also the reason you feel restless. It is the reason you chase success, and also the reason you feel empty after achieving it. Today, you are going to discover what dopamine is really doing to your brain. Not the TikTok version, not the motivational speaker version, but the deep psychological and neuroscientific truth that most people never learn. By the end of this video, you will understand why your brain is constantly craving stimulation, why modern life is silently hijacking your mind, why pleasure is making you miserable, and how you can finally regain control of your brain. This video might completely change the way you look at motivation, happiness, addiction, and success. So stay with me till the end, because what you are about to learn might be the most important lesson of your life. What is dopamine, really? Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, but that is not entirely true. Dopamine is not the chemical of pleasure. It is the chemical of anticipation. It is the chemical of desire. It is the chemical of wanting more. Dr. Kent Berridge, a leading neuroscientist at the University of Michigan, explains dopamine in a powerful way. He says dopamine is not about liking, it is about wanting. That means dopamine does not make you feel satisfied. It makes you feel hungry. Hungry for more experiences. Hungry for more rewards. Hungry for more stimulation. Dopamine pushes you to chase. Chase money. Chase success. Chase love. Chase attention. Chase pleasure. Without dopamine, humans would have no ambition, no curiosity, no progress. But here is the dark truth. Too much dopamine destroys your peace. The science behind dopamine. Let's go inside your brain. Every time you experience something exciting, your phone vibrates, you get a like, you eat sugar, you watch porn, you win a game, you receive praise. Your brain releases dopamine. This dopamine travels through a neural pathway called the mesolimbic pathway, also known as the reward circuit. This pathway connects two major brain regions, the ventral tegmental area, VTA, the nucleus accumbens. This is the same system involved in addiction to drugs like cocaine, nicotine, and heroin. Yes, your phone, your junk food, your social media, all activate the same brain system as hard drugs. Dr. Nora Volkow, director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse, explains that dopamine spikes teach the brain what is important for survival. Your brain literally rewires itself to chase dopamine. This is called neuroplasticity. Your brain physically changes based on what you repeatedly do, which means if you constantly consume fast pleasure, your brain becomes wired for fast pleasure. How modern life is destroying your dopamine system. In ancient times, dopamine was released for survival-based rewards, food, shelter, social bonding, achievement. You had to work for it. You had to hunt. You had to build. You had to struggle. Now, you get dopamine every 3 seconds. Notifications, reels, short videos, likes, fast food, online shopping, gaming, streaming. This constant stimulation floods your brain. And when dopamine is constantly high, your baseline happiness drops. Dr. Anna Lemke, professor of psychiatry at Stanford University and author of Dopamine Nation, explains, when pleasure is everywhere, joy disappears. This happens because your brain always tries to maintain balance. This is called homeostasis. When dopamine spikes too often, your brain reduces its sensitivity to dopamine, which means things that once made you happy no longer excite you. You need more stimulation to feel the same pleasure. This is how addiction is born. Why you feel empty even after success. Have you ever noticed this? You achieve a goal. You buy something expensive. You get appreciation. For a moment, you feel amazing. And then emptiness. That emptiness is not depression. That emptiness is dopamine crash. Dopamine spikes high when you anticipate a reward. But once you get it, dopamine drops. And when it drops below baseline, you feel bored, restless, unmotivated, empty. This is why rich people are not always happy. This is why celebrities fall into depression. This is why achievement does not guarantee fulfillment. Because dopamine was never designed to make you happy. It was designed to make you chase. Experiment that proved dopamine controls behavior. One of the most famous dopamine experiments was done by psychologist James Olds and neuroscientist Peter Milner in 1954. They implanted electrodes into rats' brains in the dopamine reward center. Then they gave rats a button. Every time the rat pressed the button, dopamine was released. The results shocked the world. Rats pressed the button thousands of times an hour. They stopped eating. They stopped drinking. They ignored sleep. They ignored survival. They pressed until they collapsed. This experiment proved one thing. Dopamine can override every survival instinct. Now replace that button with your smartphone, your apps, your screen, and suddenly everything makes sense. Social media and dopamine trap. Social media platforms are built using dopamine engineering. Every swipe is unpredictable. Every refresh might give you something exciting. This unpredictability is called variable reward system. It is the same system used in slot machines. Dr. B.F. Skinner proved that unpredictable rewards create the strongest addictions. Your brain keeps thinking, maybe the next swipe will be amazing. Maybe the next video will be better. Maybe the next post will make me feel something. And so you scroll. Hours pass. Your life drains. Your dreams wait. How dopamine kills focus and deep work. Deep focus requires low stimulation, but modern dopamine addiction destroys patience. This is why you cannot read long books. You cannot focus on studies. You cannot sit in silence. You cannot stay bored. Your brain is addicted to novelty. Dr. Cal Newport, author of Deep Work, explains that constant dopamine stimulation fragments attention. Your brain becomes trained for distraction, which means even when you want to focus, your brain keeps craving excitement. This is why discipline feels painful. Dopamine and mental health crisis. High dopamine stimulation is strongly linked to anxiety, depression, ADHD-like symptoms, emotional numbness. When dopamine floods your brain, it suppresses serotonin, the chemical responsible for calmness and emotional stability. This imbalance leads to emotional chaos. This is why so many people today feel restless, unfulfilled, mentally exhausted, emotionally numb. The good side of dopamine when used right. Dopamine is not evil. When used correctly, dopamine becomes your greatest ally. Healthy dopamine comes from exercise, learning, building skills, hard work, meaningful goals, real human connection. These activities release moderate, stable dopamine, which builds long-term happiness, motivation, and self-respect. Dr. Andrew Huberman, professor of neurobiology at Stanford, explains, effort-based dopamine builds confidence and mental resilience, which means hard work literally rewires your brain for strength. How to reset your dopamine system. This is called dopamine detox, not complete isolation, but controlled stimulation. Here are powerful methods backed by neuroscience. 1. Reduce instant pleasures. Limit social media, junk food, porn, and binge watching. 2. Embrace boredom. Boredom resets dopamine sensitivity. 3. Do hard things. Exercise, study, create, build. 4. Delay gratification. Train your brain to wait. 5. Sleep deeply. Sleep restores dopamine receptors. Over time, your brain heals. Your motivation returns. Your peace comes back. What happens when your dopamine balances? Life becomes clearer. Your focus increases. Your energy rises. Your emotions stabilize. Your confidence grows. You stop chasing meaningless pleasure. You start building meaningful success. You stop escaping life. You start living it. Emotional realization. Imagine waking up with mental clarity, no anxiety, no compulsive scrolling, no constant cravings, just calm focus, purpose, direction, peace. That is not fantasy. That is neuroscience. That is dopamine mastery. Dopamine is not your enemy, but uncontrolled dopamine is your prison. Your habits are shaping your brain, and your brain is shaping your destiny. Every scroll is a vote. Every choice is a command. Every habit is a future. So choose wisely, because the brain you build today is the life you will live tomorrow. If this video opened your eyes, make sure to like, subscribe to MindCraft Lab, and share this knowledge with someone who needs it. Remember, you are not weak. You are simply human. And now you are aware.